So after many months, frankly years of procrastination, I have finally decided to sit down and film my designer shoe collection. And a few things to address up front. So number one, yes, I am sat on the floor because otherwise I'd be too elevated and you wouldn't be able to see the shoes. So I'm gonna naturally have to keep this quite short as I will be, I'm sure, experiencing some butt pain. Second of all, this is somewhat of a ghetto setup, I realise that. This is not a permanent setup, okay? I'm true Asian by heritage, so I'm not just, there's nothing wrong with these shoe racks. They do the job. And then the third message, just while we're here, as you can see, we have majority designer shoes here. Does not count all the other shoes that I have littered around the house. But for the sake of designer, I think we probably have over 40. And I'll also not be trying them on. I just have too many at this stage to try them all on. I'm sorry, I know some of you find that useful, but I have done designer shoe collection videos in the past. There are always other reference videos if you want to see me wearing them, but yeah, I just can't right now. Let's get straight into it. I'm gonna start on my left side. So you're right, I guess. I feel like a flight attendant. I will start on the left and then I will move to the right. And I'll start with these ones in two plastic bags because you're probably thinking, Mel, what the hell are these? So this particular pair is a very, very special pair of Dolce and Gabbana ankle boots. And the special part is, as I'm just showing you now, whoo, these jewels on the side. And I will try and hold them in such a way that I, first of all, don't catch them, but second of all, that you can appreciate just how beautiful these are. And I got these actually many, many years ago. I'm not sure if D&G sells them anymore, but to be honest, this will maybe be for another video, but I shan't be supporting D&G any longer. I mean, I haven't for ages because of all their scandals and things like that. But again, for another time. I've only worn these on a handful of occasions, just purely because of the jewels on the back. They're very delicate looking, but I think also because I don't really have occasions where I'd wear boots but that aren't like practical boots. These are very, very dressy ankle boots, as you can see. I am usually like a size UK 4.5, 5, which will be European 37.5 or 38. And in this particular pair, I got them in a 38 and they fit great as well. I got these for about £800 or £900 at the time. And I did think they go on sale, like D&G shoes always go in outlets, so never buy anything full price. For a lot of these brands, they will discount naturally as well, but I think they also made them in the nude, which also looked really, really nice, but I much prefer the black in terms of just wear and tear and longevity, especially because of suede. Okay, so let's continue on with the top row. This is gonna take a while, so I need to speed up. We have this killer pair of Balmain army boots. And these, as you can tell, these have been worn quite a lot. I love these so, so much. They are the most classic and cool looking pair of biker boots that you'll ever get. I highly rate these. I think Balmain still releases these year on year. I even wish I bought another pair when they were on sale because I actually got them really good price actually on Louisa Roma. They were actually on outlet. I think these retail for about £1,000. I would not be surprised if they are more at this stage because of how popular they are and how durable they are as well. I think I got these for about £400 or £500. I actually got these in a size 38.5. So yeah, usually I'm a 37 or 38 European. This one, for some reason, I just liked the bigger size, I guess, a bit more roomy, and they fit really, really well. And actually for a pair of biker boots, these are surprisingly comfortable and easy to put on because of the zip sides. I think that's really great for easy access. You don't have to do all the laces. So it's got that military vibe, but with the zip up the side that you can also wear half zips like this. So I often find that I do it half zip because I think all the way up the ankle is a little bit constricting. These I highly rate, but they're very heavy though, is what I will say. They are heavy to walk around in, and sometimes they make a little bit of a squelchy noise if you're on kind of like tiled flooring. Now we have a pair of a bit more heeled boots. We've got a pair of Giuseppe Zanottis. And do you remember how big Zanottis were about 3 or 4 years ago? I swear no one else wears them anymore, and neither do I really. So these are the classic Zanottis. I don't know what the name is, but these are like the basic bitch kind that everyone really has. And while they are comfortable, it's not for an extended period of time because your foot kind of does slip in and out because it's a little bit wider, and these buckles don't really do much to hold your foot in, but very, very cool pair of shoes. I got these in a size 38, but I find these fit fine, though they are a little bit wider at the toe cap than I would like. If you are considering getting these, I mean, now's a great time to get them because I think they always go on outlet, and I bought these actually full price at the time, and I remember going to Bicester a year or so later and they were in the outlet for like half price. Let's continue on to another pair of heeled boots, and this is a pair that I haven't worn for a long time. In fact, I'm scared to wear them And I'll tell you why and show you why in a second. But this is a pair of Sergio Rossi heeled lace-up boots. These heeled boots, I swear, I wore these to work for about a year straight. But what ended up happening is one of the heels collapsed on itself. So actually, this is an attempt by a great cobbler to put it back together again, because this actually just bent completely out of place. And since that point, I just haven't dared wear these because I'm just scared that it would just buckle in on itself, and I can't find this pair of shoes again for dear life. I'm now a little bit conscientious that if I wear these again and mess them up, they're gone. And it would be a crying shame because these are so damn comfortable. It's the only pair of Sergio Rossi's that I've actually had. I don't even remember where I bought it. I think I bought it on Farfetch many years ago. We're talking like 7 years ago probably, maybe even over, but I just love them. They give a bit of a witch pointy boot vibe, but honestly, they look great on. All these are a size 37 and a half, and I found these great, super roomy. I love the pointed toe, very, very sexy. But anyway, let's move on to another pair of shoes that I really don't see that much wear. And it's this pair of Yeezy sock boots. If you remember the sock boot a few years ago, oh my, how times have changed, how trends come and go. These weren't actually the original ones. I know they made like the Perspex ones and everything like that, and they even made the ones with a skinnier heel, but this one's a little bit of a thicker heel, as you can see here, and they're a little bit dirty because I've not clearly cleaned the base from when I last wore them, which I actually can't remember. But it's also kind of hard to clean because it's a sock boot, and like I almost want to throw them in the wash, but you can't. Something I did want to mention with this pair of shoes or socks, whatever you want to call them at this stage, is that although these look like they're going to be comfortable, they are very deceiving. They are so uncomfortable. This heel looks like it's going to be so supportive and it's not going to be a pain at all because it doesn't look that high. In reality, there is no heel support here. I mean, it's completely fabric here. These are very much a pair of shoes that look great, and if you're doing a smile and wave boys kind of event, or if you just sat down for most of the dinner that you're going to or whatever, then these are fine. But other than that, would not recommend, would avoid, I would not touch with a barge pole. I'm sure you get loads of dupes either as well, so it's not exactly one that you'd necessarily need to splash cash on for the Yeezy version, even though they were the originals. But even just reference, these are size 37 and a half. So let me take this pair out. Again, we'll start from my left to right, and you can probably tell what this is for those fashion aficionados out there, and this is a pair of Stella McCartney Elise sandals, and these are Stella McCartney's flagship sandals. I'm gonna have to keep my chatter short because these are so heavy to walk in, and you do feel it when you're walking around. It's literally like clogs. These are proper wood. There's a kind of a funny or weird story about this. So I bought this in Goom, I think it was, in Moscow. Stella McCartney is a UK brand, London-based brand, and so kind of funny, I got it there, and I actually got it there way cheaper. These are on outlet. I think these are like £200. They're usually like maybe 500-600, probably more at this stage, because this was many years ago. And then what ended up happening is, as you can see, from wearing these shoes, and you know, it's your bare foot, so you've got foot oils and skin and all that good stuff rubbing on it, and because these aren't pure leather, what you can see obviously is that it's worn into the bottom. And actually, you may be surprised to know that this is the second pair of Elise sandals that I have, because what ended up happening is the original pair was so bad. Unfortunately, I don't have pictures for you, but even that would put you off your dinner, I'm sure, because it just started peeling, and you can actually physically like peel off, and it started happening on this left side here. Maybe I can show you underneath. It starts to look nasty, and then obviously it imprints where your foot is, but when it starts to bleed outside of it, it just looks really weird. It just looks like your foot is leaking black or something, which is obviously not the case. It's just a quality thing. So I actually, after I left Moscow, I actually wrote to them and said, you know, there's a quality issue with my pair of shoes, and I thought they'd be able to sort it out with a replacement in the UK, but they couldn't because of like imports and stuff. So I ended up having to send those shoes back, and then they had to send me a new pair, which I thought was quite funny because obviously I'm based in London in Moscow, so they could have just sent me one from down the road, you know, or something like that. But anyway, so this is the second pair, and because of that, I don't really gravitate towards them too much. They are still great though, but they're just very heavy. And also it's just the foot thing kind of puts me off, but they are lovely. They do go with an awful lot of stuff. I'm a silver hardware gal, so the fact that they're silver is great, and I think they're super casual and chic as well. Let's move on again to more heels now. We're now onto the heels department, and this pair of heels is a very distinctive red bottom heels because these are Christian Louboutin heels, and they give off a very Gianvito Rossi plexi pump kind of vibe, but you can see a very cool distinctive print. with a mixture of black and white. What I would say though, obviously with Louboutins, I don't have many, I only have 2, and I'll show you the next pair because it's right next door to it. Louboutins, obviously notoriously uncomfortable. This particular pair is no exception. Look at this skinny ass heel. I mean, come on. That is also, first of all, it's gonna fall into any kind of pothole or little hole in the ground and the gravel. Lord knows it's almost fell into a few of the London Tube staircases. That's been a nightmare to try and get it out in time before I get sucked in invariably to the actual escalator itself. But also it's just because it's such a high arch, as you can tell. This is what, 9 centimeters, maybe 10. It's just not practical to walk around in for long periods of time. Look great on, don't get me wrong, very sexy, very nice, elongates leg, and who can fault a beautiful red bottom? I mean, iconic, but incredibly uncomfortable. And because these are plastic as well, they start to kind of rub against your foot and it's not a nice feeling. But with that in mind, so I've got them in a size 37 and a half in the afternoons when you wear them, because your feet invariably do expand in the afternoons because of the heat and everything. This, I probably could have got this in a 38 and it would have probably been better just purely because it's plastic, but I don't wear these an awful lot anyway, as you can probably imagine. Anyway, so the next ones, like I said, these Pegals, also from Louboutin, are a lot more wearable, and I've worn these a lot more in comparison, as you can imagine, to the other ones. So this is what they look like, and you've probably seen, these are basic bitch types of shoes that every luxury lover probably has. I actually bought this before the Louboutins, the Plexi Louboutins, and these are in a size 37 and a half as well, but these are a lot more roomier and the arch is a lot less. So these are walkable. I think these are probably 7 or 8 centimeters. This is still, I think, about £500, maybe £600 at the time of releasing this video. But I don't see an awful lot of people wearing Louboutins anymore, I must say. It's something that I think maybe has like been and gone, I'm not entirely sure. But I think, you know, as a one pair of shoes that you must have in your collection, I think Louboutins is a classic one. So let's keep it moving. We've got this pair of Miu Miu Mary Janes shoes, I think is the technical name for this pair of shoes. For work, I love these. These are so cute, and despite the heel height, which arguably is like the same as the Pegals and even the Yeezy sock boots, so comfortable. As you can see, very chunky heel, very supported in the back of your foot, and almond toe here, very comfortable. And I love the velvet. I know they made these in quite a few colours back in the day that I got them, again, many years ago at this stage. I think it made them in a pink as well, maybe in a blue, and they were all the rage because of all these pearls and things. But as you can see, the pearls have had better days. They are, oh, it's focusing on my face. Come on now. There we go, you can see some of the pearl wear and tear there. And I also don't think those Mary Janes were that expensive from Miu Miu. I think they were like £300 or £400. You could probably get them on outlet. I think I probably got them on outlet. In fact, most of the shoes I have probably are on outlet. Let's move on to this pair. Speaking of outlet, I got this on sale. And this is a pair of Moschino couture shoes. And it's a really killer pair of heels to wear because they are very fashion, with the pointed toe, with the writing on the bottom. I will say though, the heel is quite high, it's quite arched. It's probably a little bit deceiving because you're thinking slingback. It's probably quite comfortable. These aren't that comfortable. They look great though, so it's one of those things I'd be willing to put myself through that pain, but these are still probably a little bit more comfortable than the Yeezys. I'm using that as my barometer. And these I got in a size 37 and a half also. And I'm not sure if they're still making these. I don't think these are a flagship piece in Moschino's line, but they're very cool looking and I do like them. I don't get as much wear out of them as I would like, obviously, especially in today's climate, but they're very, very beautiful. And then moving on to another pair of slingbacks. So these ones are a little bit more wearable. These are a pair of Barneys New York slingbacks. So it's not necessarily like a designer brand. I didn't even know Barneys did heels actually, but I just went on their website actually when I was shopping from the States, and yeah, bought these. And these are a pair of beautiful dogtooth or houndstooth print slingbacks. And I think they're quite similar to the Jean Vito. I think it's Jean Vito Rossi did a pair of kind of Prince of Wales check print slingbacks that are very, very similar, but these have a bit of a lower heel, so a lot more walkable. And I got these in a size 37 and a half. The only issue is that this elastic is quite loose and can fall off. That's the only thing with slingbacks. I actually don't find that issue with the Moschino ones. Those fit fine. But with this pair from Barneys, this elastic thing, obviously they're trusting that everyone's foot will be the same width and I guess like depth in the shoe, but they flopped off, so I actually had to get these fixed and get them tightened. Next up, I'll take up these beauties right here, which, oh, they've seen better days, but it's better to wear your goodies and enjoy them than not. And this is a beautiful pair of Sophia Webster booties. These are actually bridal boots, I know, but they were on sale. I could not resist them. They look beautiful. I remember seeing them on the runway many years ago and I was like, oh my god, they're beautiful. Do I really have to be a bride to wear them? No, the answer is no. You can buy them whenever you want. Though what I would say after a lot of time has elapsed is a few quality issues have emerged. So the base, you can see some of the glue and everything has come out. Let me just see if it will focus. Yeah, and also some glue on the side has come out of the heel. These weren't a pair of cheap heels either. They were like £800 or £900. So they are very gorgeous, and I have worn these out a few times actually, and the heel is not looking super great, is it? But yeah, it's kind of hard to clean satin. You just can't. These are size 38 in case you're interested. I'm not sure if Sophia Webster still makes these, but maybe similar styles. They are beautiful. They're actually very comfortable despite the heel. Next up, we have quite the blast from the past. Who remembers Puma Fenties or Fenty Pumas? And this is one of the iconic pairs of heels that were featured in, I think, like the autumn winter, or was it spring summer? I cannot remember. I think it was maybe spring summer at the stage collections of her first year when she was collaborating with Puma, and these are the sneaker boots things. And as you can see, these are pretty immaculate. I actually bought this was my second pair of them, because the first pair I got like this nasty ass scuff on the front, which I thought was so hideous. I was so crazy a few years ago. So I don't know why I did this, but I ended up selling them. Someone bought it, I'm not sure who, and I ended up repurchasing these. So these are brand spanking new, never been worn. Don't know if I will wear them. So yeah, I mean, they're very beautiful. I do love them. You have to wear a very particular type of outfit for these though. You basically have to wear pretty much Puma Fenty stuff. All this very, very pink, neutral tones. These I got in a size 5, so 38. Very stylish, but very, very niche in the ways you wear it. Speaking of heels, let's continue on, and we've got this pair of Jimmy Choos in this beautiful sparkly number right here. And these are all actually like, they're not, you know, just like a print of glitter. It's actual loose glitter, so they end up falling absolutely everywhere. But they've also got this beautiful kind of champagne gold heel, which is metal, which is quite good because then it doesn't scuff super easily and it's very beautiful. And this one I think was about £300 or £400, which is I guess not too bad for Jimmy Choos. But I will say Jimmy Choo on the whole is quite comfortable, especially this particular pair of shoes. I've forgotten the name of this shoe, but I think they still make these, and this, I just love the toe cap. I think it's so sexy. The way that it gives a bit of toe cleavage, I love it. And this is a pair in size 38 also, which I find very comfortable. These are my go-to nude heels, and these were also relatively inexpensive because of the fact they were on sale. I think these were also about 300, maybe even less. So definitely worth looking into if you're looking for a great pair of kind of more basic heels, but something that is going to really elongate your leg and is comfortable. These are extremely comfortable. Let's move on to the last shoe in this row. And this is a pair of Tory Burches. This is my only pair of Tory Burches. In fact, I don't buy from Tory Burch at all. So this was basically exclusively for the fact that it was completely pearls. And then you've got these beautiful kind of like satin, I think, like purpley or purpley grey. It's a beautiful colour actually, purpley grey, slides, and very, very basic looking apart from this beautiful pearl band here at the top. They don't stay on your foot all that well, so after a while they do get a little bit annoying. It's not like you can wear them on a beach or something because these are rock hard. Now moving swiftly on, we have another pair of slingbacks here. We've got a pair of Prada slingbacks. This is a more recent purchase actually. So this particular pair was inspired by me watching Breakfast at Tiffany's, I think it was, because I think Audrey Hepburn wore towards the end of the seams a slingback that had basically a nude toe cap and white back, and I was like, oh my god, I love that, I want a pair. Couldn't find any anywhere. It was probably the most specific shoe request that I've ever made, and I just kind of scoured the internet, and lo and behold, Prada did one, which is not exactly the same. This one's a bit more of a square toe cap. It's just got a very simple shoe otherwise, but the heel here is like plastic, I think. And but it's not heavy though, which I must say I was very pleasantly surprised at. And you can see has Prada on it. It's giving me a bit of a racer vibe with that little stripe there. See, I think I can wear these till I'm like 70 or something, you know, they're very classic. And I got these in a size 38, and I would say it's quite true to size, and the fact that you can adjust the back and there's a little bit of elastic as well, even better. So that's the point I was making on slingbacks. And I got these, I think, also on sale, so about £400. Next up, we're going to flatter shoe territory. And I've got here a pair of Chanel shoes, some Chanel pearl loafers. And I've talked about these before. These are looking a little bit worse for wear. So these have been worn in quite a lot, but I must say, they're very uncomfortable. It's kind of a vicious cycle really, where they would be more comfortable the more I wore them in, but because they're so uncomfortable, I don't want to wear them. They're very hard. So I got these actually in the Chanel sale a couple of years ago, maybe more than that, 3 years ago. I've been buying from Chanel for quite a lot of time, I realised just now. And they've got this beautiful pearl detail on the front. I did get them in a size 38. They're a little bit narrow at the top of the foot, I feel. Maybe that's why they're a little bit uncomfortable. But I did get them on sale. I got them for like £500, so yeah, not a bad price to be honest. We'll move on now to another pair of classic Chanel shoes, and that is the espadrille. The Chanel espadrille is so popular. Look, she's looking a little bit dusty, not gonna lie. She hasn't been brought out for a while because, you know, the UK weather has been very temperamental. It's not really been summer weather yet. This is one of the earliest pairs of Chanel shoes, or Chanel items that I've ever bought really. These are incredibly delicate, they're lambskin, but they've worn pretty well and they're very comfortable. I find these personally very comfortable. I know a lot of people have grievances, but I don't. And I got them, I think it's true size 38. And I think they're relatively inexpensive still. I think they're like £500 even to this day. So I would highly rate, if you're considering them, they've got great colorways. Next up, we've got a pair of kitten heels from Valentino, which is the only Valentino shoe that I have in my collection thus far. And it's obviously a rock stud. They're just the perfect heel for just walking around in all day pretty much. And they look great. They're also quite scuff resistant because of the patent leather at front there. Again, I got this a few years ago and they were, I think, on outlet or something, you know, yeah girl. And I think I got these for about £400, which nowadays I think these are almost like £1,000, so that's a crazy markup. The only thing that I would mention is potentially something to think about if you are getting them is, one, it's very faffy with all of these straps going on. I actually wore these into Chanel and I was trying on shoes and it was just faff. I felt like I was rushed for time putting all of these on and off. And then the next thing is obviously the heel can sometimes fall into small gaps, but I think you get that anyway. Then we'll finish off that row with another pair of Chanel shoes, and this one is really looking worse for wear, and it's a pair of Chanel ballet flats or pumps, and this is in obviously the classic nude colorway. Although I do love them and they look cute and everything like that, and they're relatively comfortable, but they're not the most comfortable, I must say. I don't think now if I was to buy them again, would I spend that much money? Probably not. I actually find these a lot harder to style than some of the other heels I have in crazier colors because they don't elongate the leg because they're so flat, so they look a bit schoolgirlish, but also the colorways. I've got other shoes in this kind of colorway and I'd much rather gravitate towards them. And the black toe cap, I think, limits it a lot with like summer dresses and things. If it was a white toe cap, maybe a bit different. So anyway, that's all I have to say on this particular pair. But again, it's a less expensive shoe for Chanel compared to the other things that they are releasing nowadays. I think they're still in the $500 or $600 mark. All right, we are now onto the bottom row, which you cannot actually see here, but there are a few shoes here. We have 3, and then I'll move on to that side, and then we'll hopefully be done very soon. The shoes I've grabbed next are a pair of flats, driving flats actually, from Tod's. These are my only pair of Tod's so far, and this is a very special looking pair, as you can see, because they've got cool studs on them, and they've got so many colours with tri-colours here. And this I got from Bicester Village last year actually. And I wanted a pair of driving shoes for the purpose of actually driving, which I don't think a lot of people buy driving shoes from Tod's for. What I will say though is the sizing is really strange at Tod's. Can someone else vouch for me on this one? Because when I went in, thankfully I went into the store to try these on, I was trying on shoes that were like 36s and little 36 and a halves. And this one is a 37, which is strange. So definitely try these on in the store if you can. Don't just buy them online. I would not recommend that. Great shoes. And they're very comfortable and inexpensive too, probably about $200 or $300. And next up we have a pair of, I guess, espadrilles. And this is just this very basic looking pair of Prada espadrille slides. Gives me a Chanel espadrille vibe. I know they're doing these kind of wedges things at the moment. platform espadrilles with the CCs. I kind of wish I got those instead of these, because these are a little bit rigid. They don't give you a heel in the same way the Chanel ones do. They're just platform, and they're just very hard, and they just fly off my foot. I'm not joking. So yeah, well, these are great, and the price point was great. I think about £300. I would think twice about getting them. And then finally, to finish off the left side of my shoe collection, we have a pair from Fendi, and this is a pair of Fendi slides. This is my only pair of Fendi shoes, I believe, and they're pretty good. I quite like them. I mean, you can't really go wrong with a pair of basic rubber slides, can you? But I think they look great. Got these from Net-a-Porter, maybe a few months ago actually, and they were on sale, and they were pretty good price, I think like £200 or £300, and they were from the Joshua Vides 2D kind of collection. I actually wore these as my house slippers for a bit of time until I decided, no, you don't need to be that bougie around the house, okay? Very good quality, a bit heavy though, but quite nice. And I will say these are also true to size 38s. So that is the left side done. Now let's tackle the right. If you can't tell already, these are a pair of Stuart Weitzmans. Oh yeah, and these are the sexiest boots that I own probably. These go all the way up through the thigh, and they look amazing. If you don't have a pair of Stuart Weitzmans, I know these were really trend a few years ago, and they're probably less so now, but they're still sexy as hell, and I would still recommend them because they just look chef's kiss. They just look amazing on. And you can get these on sale. I got mine discounted. I think these were like £500 or something, down from 800 or something like that. It's perfect for winter, especially when it gets a little bit colder. It's like wearing a pair of socks up there, and it means that you can just wear your dresses as well as normal because you've got a little bit of that winter protection. I'm gonna skip past this pair of shoes. This is a pair from Asos. I'm just gonna take one out. These are not designer, but they give me that Stuart Weitzman Highland vibes, don't they? But this next pair, it's not necessarily specifically designer or luxury fashion brand. This is again a collaboration, Puma Fenty collaboration. And these are so heavy. Oh my God, I regret even picking them up right about now. But I'm actually trying to sell these at the moment because I just don't wear them. I've worn these a couple of times. They're just so heavy. There's just no real reason I'd need to wear a wedge that high, and I don't know why I bought them, but this was in my younger years, so we're all allowed to make mistakes. And next up we have a pair of boots that I do wear a lot more, significantly more, and this is a pair from Karl Lagerfeld. This is my one and only pair from Karl Lagerfeld, and actually I got these by accident pretty much because my mum bought something, then realised she didn't want it because she found something better in another store, and this was in Bicester Village, and so then I decided to exchange the item for something that I would wear because there was nothing else she wanted in that store. I love the chain detail, it gives me that Giuseppe Zanotti vibe, but not super out there. I do love the mock croc print as well, and these are true to size, I believe, 38 probably. Yes, 38. These were made in China though, which I'm slightly surprised at for Karl, you know, because Karl does Chanel, and you'd hope that these were all made in Paris, but they're made in China. But they were very nice, inexpensive, 200 quid or something like that. So if you want a taste of Chanel, I guess you could go to Karl Lagerfeld and get one of his shoes. And then to finish off this boots row, we've got a pair of boots that have seen better days. In fact, I'll probably donate them or something if I can't fix them, because they are frankly battered and bruised. And it's this pair of Tommy Hilfiger Chelsea boots. I saw these on Farfetch, thought that was great height for work and things, and I've worn these out and about so much that you can really see the details of the wear and tear at the back. They are very nice, and they are very inexpensive as well, maybe £100 or £200. So before we get into the majority of Yeezys, I'll just talk about this pair here, which is not Yeezys, it's a pair of Chanel sneakers. And these are my first pair of Chanel sneakers that I got. Got them many years ago, as you can see. They are looking a bit worse for wear. They are not my proudest moment. I actually found them quite inexpensive at the time that I bought them. They were about £500, and I even went through a personal shopper, so we paid a little bit of, like, you know, resale fees there. But nowadays, I think these are going up really quickly. They're almost in the £1,000, so if you do want them, get them while you can, I guess. I got these, again, I think in a 38, so they're true to size. Next up, we've got the Yeezys, so I'll just go through them very quickly. I've made a dedicated video about Yeezys in the past, so I won't go on into too much detail, but yeah, these are the Oreo version 2 Yeezys here. I get them in different sizes. This one's like a 38, I think. Oh no, 38 and a half, so size 5.5. They're all different, but this is by far the most comfortable Yeezys that I have. Moving on is to my most expensive pair of Yeezys, and actually the first pair of Yeezys I ever bought, so of course they're the most expensive because I was an idiot at the time. And this is the classic turtle doves, and this is in a size 37.5, I believe. These are not as comfortable, but also they are just too bloody expensive that I'm really scared to wear these out. Then we have a pair of version 2s in the blue tints, and this, I love the colourway a lot. I love blue recently, and I think it looks great with the red detail as well. This is a size 38.5, so 5.5 as well. Very, very cool looking. I didn't actually buy this one for resale, whereas that one was resale. Actually, that was the only other pair that was on resale. The rest I got on all the raffles and everything. Anyway, now we're moving on to this pair of version 2s in the sesame colourway. I love these. I wear these an awful lot, actually. Love the colourway. These are actually surprisingly, I think, in size 6. Yeah, size 6. So that just goes to show there's different designers, different sizes. It's really weird. I don't understand why. Oh, actually, I've forgotten. I do have another pair of Yeezys, which I'll get. And so I've missed that from the collection, which is a crying shame because I have 6 Yeezys. And so this is the static pair. So that's in a size 6. And I think they're quite cool because they've got like little dots and everything. And so let me get the other Yeezys because I totally forgot. I actually have way more shoes than I actually thought in the first place. So yeah, I have a problem and I need help.
A few moments later.
I'm back with the other pair of Yeezys because these are like my home gym shoes. Oh, I'm such a knob sometimes. But yeah, these are my version 2 boosts in pure white. It's just the purest white ever, and I haven't worn these out, as you can see. They are so pristine, and I'm just so terrified of getting these dirty. But a part of me is thinking whether to do a sneaker custom on these, because as some of you may know, for fun, I customize sneakers. So if you think I should, let me know, if you're even still here. So these are Nike Valentine's Day collections. I'm gonna count this in here as luxury because they certainly were sold on luxury concierges and things like that. Valentine's Day collection, obviously very cute colorways, very special little details. In fact, you've got a little love note thing here, little flap, which is quite cute. These are the Air Maxes, and they're adorable looking. Though, don't like the fact that Nike's gone quite satanic recently. So yeah, I won't be buying from Nike anymore, and I don't have many Nikes anyway, so I guess that's fine. But yeah, this is the last pair that I've gotten, and this is in a size 5. This is a pair of Air Force Ones. As you can see, I've done bits to it because, like I mentioned, I customize sneakers sometimes just for fun, and I pimped these out to be this kind of cherry blossom sakura print, and I love these a lot. Again, none of these shoes were like pretty like that expensive in comparison to the other shoes over there. This is probably like, I think it's like £200, it's like less than 100, but with that design, priceless. Then we'll go on to this row, which we do have a very nice pair of Chanel sneakers here. This is the newest addition to my shoe collection, and this is a beautiful pair of Chanel low top sneakers. They come with white laces as well, so you can really switch up the look. So these are great, I think, for work. And I got these in a size 38, and these were £790. So yeah, you can really see that inflation and those price increases, Chanel. We will move on further to these Puma Fenty shoes. I got a lot of Puma Fenty stuff, as you can probably tell. I'll just whiz through these. Again, I think all of these were in like size 38s. Anyway, these were one of the first creepers that Rihanna came out with. But these ones, I think, have a lot of life left in them. These are the red kind of burgundy velvet creepers. And then this pair we have here is a very tatty looking pair. This one I'll probably donate at some point very soon. It's the first pair of Puma Fenty creepers that I bought, and it's in this oatmeal colorway, and I actually got this one I think on concierge because it was so hard to find. Then we have a bottom row here, which I don't think you can see all of the things, but I've got here another pair of Puma Fenties. I've got this like the ribbon one. I think this came from the same collection as the heel booties here. Then down here I've got some Fila Disruptors. Basic shoes really, aren't they? They're not designer, but I guess a lot of people have copied this kind of design, or maybe everyone's just inspired by each other. You see the Balenciagas, don't you? So very similar. These are in a 38. Inexpensive as well. I love them a lot. I wear those an awful lot. Then we've got some Adidas Superstars here. We've got this in the Chinese New Year print. I don't know if all of these will count, to be quite honest with you, and so the Adidas's here, I don't think these will all really count as designer shoes, so I won't dwell on those. Especially like this, I've got some like random jelly shoes, and yeah, this is a bit random. Feeler slides here. Then I've got some Fenty Pumas again. Do these count as designer? Maybe. These are the bow slides, and as you can see, they are pretty worn. And then I've got some Nike Air Forces in the high version. And yeah, these are in this kind of like oatmeal colorway. So that's everything that I have to show you in my designer shoe collection. I need to get rid of some shoes. So with that in mind, I'm gonna reflect on my life choices, and I'm gonna catch you in my next video.